What's up, lunatics? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we're back out on the road, we're driving, but today's video is not gonna be the on-the-road video for Sam Rayburn, which is where I'm headed right now. We are gonna do a recap on my Lake Texoma event, which was brutal, but we're gonna go through, we're gonna talk about practice, we're gonna talk about the tournament, why I think it was tough, what I think I could have done different, and hopefully it teaches you guys something. Hopefully you can learn from me and where I went wrong. So let's get into it. So guys, like the rest of the content for the Lake Texoma trip, it's all presented by GCI Outdoor, 6th Sense Fishing, WaterLand Fishing Optics, and Dual Molds. Those companies are the presenting sponsors for all the MLF Big 5 content that I've been putting out this year so far. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be out here doing it. If you're not familiar with any of these companies, make sure to check out their websites. Everything's linked down in the description. But real quick, GCI makes outdoor tables, outdoor chairs, stadium seats, make really, really good stuff. And I know that you guys will like it. They make really high quality stuff, a lot of really cool features on their chairs and everything. They got different, outdoor cooking tables, stuff for you to go camping with, stuff that you're gonna like if you're an outdoors person. 6th Sense Fishing, you guys, they make some of the best crankbaits, plastics, rods on the market. You guys see them all the time on my channel. Really, really good stuff. And then also WaterLand Fishing Optics, they make awesome sunglasses. I've worn different pairs of sunglasses over the years, and I love my WaterLands, and I know that if you get a pair, you're gonna love them too. And then Dual Molds, you guys see me make stuff on the channel all the time with Dual Molds, and you can make some really, really good stuff on your own, in your garage, at your house, using Dual Molds products. They have everything you need. Make sure to check out my affiliate link, which is down in the description of today's video. Save that link, and anytime you go to Dual Molds website and you're gonna buy something, please go through that affiliate link so they know that I sent you. As you do for any tournament, you always want to do research before you go to the lake. The one thing that I found hard about Texoma is it's not the easiest lake to get a lot of information for. There's a lot of information if you want to go striper fishing, a lot of videos on YouTube if you want to go striper fishing. Like, don't get me wrong, there's videos on Lake Texoma, there's articles on Lake Texoma for bass fishing, but a lot of them are different times a year, not right around the spawn. I had a hard time figuring out when the spawn was gonna be, if it was gonna land right when we got there, if they were still gonna be pre-spawn or post-spawn or not, because depending on where you're at in the country, the dates, which were late March for that tournament, could have landed right on top of the spawn, which is really gonna eliminate a ton of water and kind of give you an indication on what you need to be doing in order to be successful. But I had a hard time finding that information going into the event, so I kind of just had to see what stage the fish are when I got there. But that was also super difficult because I wasn't getting a lot of bites to know whether I was in the right areas or not. So my first day of practice out there was pretty much a bust. I didn't get on the water till about midday through, and I didn't catch any fish. I only had a half a day. I didn't really cover a lot of water. I had really no idea on where to start or anything like that, so I kind of just put the boat in the water, checked everything out, got an idea of what the water temps are, kind of just got an idea of what things kind of look like, saw if the watercolor was dirty or not, but that's about as much as I got accomplished on day one. So going into day two was my first day that I was gonna get to start from, morning and go to as long as I wanted. Only problem with day two, it was weather. Weather was a big factor on day two. We got a lot of rain, got a lot of wind. It made, running around the lake a little bit more difficult. I did manage to catch a few fish, and I wish I would have paid attention to those fish a little bit more, but I just thought they were gonna be too small. I thought that they weren't gonna help me going into the actual event because they just weren't the right size. They were spotted bass as well, and here's a couple fish catches for you guys. There's one. Well, first bass out on Rayburn, or at Texoma. We got a long way to go. Kind of heavy though. Ate it pretty good too. Put him back. Guys, It's spawn right now, and you need a good pair of sunglasses in order to sight fish effectively, and you need a good pair of sunglasses like a pair of WaterLands. I'm wearing the Hybros right now. These are my favorite pair to wear around town. I also wear them on the water sometimes, but I wear the Ashor frames the most on the water. The Milliken model are really popular, and the Haskets are really good too. They got 3 different lens colors that you guys can choose from. If you could only pick one, I would recommend the green. Those are gonna probably give you their most versatile, but all of them have a purpose, and it's all outlined on the WaterLand website, waterlandco.com. If you go there and you find some sunglasses that you like, or you know, a sweatshirt or a shirt or something like that that you like on the website, make sure to use code LUNA10 and you're gonna save some money. There's one. Little one. Barely even felt that bite. Barely even felt that bite, and that's a little rat. It's not what we're looking for. So as you can see with those fish, those aren't what you think you need when you're out in Texas. It was obviously, Texoma is the border of Texas and Oklahoma, but I thought I was gonna definitely need more weight. It ended up being a pre-spawn type of a tournament, so those fish were gonna be the fattest that they're gonna be all year long. So I was thinking I was gonna need a lot more weight than I would have needed once the tournament was over. So the next day of practice, I went out to a different part of the lake, went all the way down south by the dam, and I really liked the clear water down there, but the water temperature was a lot colder. I thought it was gonna be a lot closer to that 60 to 61 degrees, but down at that lower end of the lake, it was actually, you know, pushing 50 degrees. I think I saw 49, but definitely 50, 51, depending on where you were at. And the bites were super tough to come by. Super windy again, but I was able to find a few different areas where I could fish, and I ended up catching a decent little smallmouth on a hair jig. You can check that out right here. Got one on the hair jig. I don't know what kind of fish it is, but we caught one. Oh, got a little smallie. Little smallie on the hair jig. There we go. There we go. Not bad. Not bad. Hair jig fish. Right down in the rocks. So after catching that hair jig fish, I really was hoping that I'd be able to run that pattern, because it's something I feel confident with. It's not exactly what I expected to be throwing out in Texas, Oklahoma, stuff like that, but it's definitely something that we do for smallmouth back home. Kept fishing throughout the day, and then I got another bite at the very end of the day on a square bill, and I'll show you that one right here. There's one. There's one. There we go. Fish. This guy's cold. Look at that. Cold fish. Oh, we finally got another one. Look at that, double hooked it. Eating crawdads. Look at that red lips. So as you can see, overall pretty tough day for my fishing. Not a lot of bites, not a lot of fish catches, but I got a couple different things that I can do, but they're totally different. I really felt the square bill thing was gonna be a lot more productive, and I could run a lot more water, cover a lot more water, and hopefully run into a few fish. So now we go to the last day of practice, and I needed to figure some stuff out. I had really not a whole lot to go on. It was super tough practice so far, and I desperately needed to find some fish. So I went to another area of the lake again, fished, you know, some better looking water. I really felt like the water color was better. I felt like the water temperature was better, but I still couldn't get bit. So I ended up leaving the lake and going from one launch ramp all the way back to where I was staying, launched there, and then started fishing. And luckily at the end of the day, I ended up finding a couple fish on some riprap, and I'll show you that right now. Finally caught a fish. Finally caught a fish. Be a bass. Ooh, I caught a bass today. Cold one too. Cold little bass. Little guy. There's another one. Another fish with the train going by. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There we go. Square bill. Yeah. So after catching those two fish on that riprap, I really thought I was able to put something together. I didn't know how good it was gonna be, but I definitely felt like I could run around, throw that square bill, and catch some fish. So that was my plan. Going into day one of the tournament was to throw that square bill a lot and just cover water, hit a lot of riprap, hit a lot of chunk rock banks, baseball sized rock banks, and that was the game plan going into day one. So as always, going into the first day of the tournament, you got, you know, you're optimistic, you're excited, you're looking forward to it, but you don't know what you found. You don't know if it's gonna be good. You don't know if it's gonna work out. You don't know if it's gonna be productive. So you just gotta go fishing and you gotta figure it out. We ended up having a lot of wind, a lot of rain overnight. The water dirtied up a little bit overnight. And one thing that I've learned fishing back home is after rain, a jig is great up shallow. A jig is just great after the rain. And I should have done that in the first day of the tournament. I should have made that adjustment and I didn't. So day one of the tournament, I literally blanked. I ended up catching a couple drum. I caught a drum on a hair jig. I caught a drum on a crankbait. I ended up having a smallmouth in a brush pile that I caught, and then it came off right at the boat. I don't even know if it would have been a keeper or not, but it was a struggle, and I blanked day one. I had no fish, nothing to bring to the scales. I really feel like I needed to make that adjustment and throw that jig on day one. I needed to slow down, even though it was windy, even though there was some rain in the morning. I needed to slow down and I needed to fish that jig. I basically needed to fish how I fished on day two, because if I could have ran a pattern like I did on day two of practice and managed the limit, it would have, one, kept me in the tournament for sure, and it probably would have put me in a really good spot to actually cash a check. The only problem with day two is I couldn't just all of a sudden make those adjustments that I should have made on day one and expect them to work on day two, because we had completely different conditions. So I didn't know exactly what I needed to do. So I figured I was gonna try to do a little bit of both. So I started off going after some of those fish that I had in day two of practice. I went to the same areas and started fishing there, came across a school of stripers, ended up catching one, and I'll show you that right now. There's one. Stripers. Stripers. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. It's a big striper, dude.
Dude, I got a bit right now, and I think I had one too.
A striper?
Well, I don't know.
Reel it faster. You'll catch one. Look at that thing. One really good day would have completely turned my tournament around. It would have completely changed and you could have definitely caught a check in that tournament by just having one good day, even if you blanked on one day. So I was still not completely out of it, but I definitely needed a pretty big bag considering how tough the fishing was in order to make up ground to get where I needed to go, but it was still possible. So we needed to move and we needed to keep fishing. So at this point, I'm still kind of lost. I still don't know exactly what I need to go do. So we tried to adjust again, ran closer to the launch ramp and started fishing some offshore stuff, some secondary points and stuff like that, closer to the launch ramp. And then I end up, you know, getting a couple bites, and here's one of the fish catches right here. There it is. There we go, finally caught one. There we go. I caught a bass. I caught a bass. One. Is that gonna measure?
Yeah, it should.
The one bass we catch, we got to measure. Let's see. Oh yeah. I get to go to weigh-in today, boys. So in this area where I caught this fish, I was getting some different short bites. My co-angler ended up getting a couple bites. He ended up breaking one off, probably a solid fish, but we weren't putting fish in the boat. We were getting the bites so we knew the fish were there, but we weren't getting them to really commit. They just didn't want to eat all the way. It seemed like they were really lethargic, seemed like they were maybe just really pressured and just weren't sure if they wanted to commit and actually eat the bait. So we just keep fishing in this area. We kind of just hunker down, and I literally tell my co-angler, hey, this is the last cast, and then we got to go in. And I make the last cast, and here's what happened. Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, I thought he was bigger than that. All right, we gotta go though. Literally the last cast of the day. My co-angler ends up getting bit right as I'm basically trying to get this fish in the boat, get in the live well, get things kind of packed up so we can go to the weigh-in. He ends up hooking up. I think it ended up being a short fish, and so that was a disappointment for him, but at least we were in an area where we put ourselves to have a chance at catching some fish and putting some fish in the boat and at least having a little bit better tournament than we would have had otherwise. So to be honest with you guys, I don't even know where I finished. I just know it's towards the bottom. I think we had around 200 boats in the tournament, and I think I finished 150 something, 170 something. I don't know exactly. I just know it was way down there, and it was pretty disappointing. So these tournaments really just come down to decisions, making the right decisions based upon the information that you gather during practice. And in this situation, I just didn't adjust. I didn't make the right decisions when it came to making the adjustment to the weather, what we had happen overnight from practice into the tournament. I just didn't make the right adjustments, and it cost me. Well guys, that's a wrap for Lake Texoma. Really got to thank GCI Outdoor, 6 Sense Fishing, WaterLand Fishing Optics, and Dual Molds for making that event possible. Without them, I wouldn't have been out there fishing. Without them, I wouldn't be able to put out this content for you guys. Wouldn't be able to help you guys learn through my own struggles or successes and trips out to the lake. So hopefully you took something from today's video and you can apply it to your own fishing and hopefully have more success than I did out at Lake Texoma. But I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.